No muting. I am here. I I can hear you. Oh, no. Apparently your mute button worked too well.
Default microphone was turned off for some reason. I don't know. Does it work
Oh,
now? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. We're going to have to find out the hard way through the delay. For some reason, that button doesn't work anymore. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now it's working. Well, I'm going to close the audio mixer and then find out if it's like... You're like, well, we're back to silence again. No, it seems like it's still on. How goofy is that?
pretty goofy.
It's very goofy.
Tuesday. It doesn't know what to do with itself.
What if I turn you way down and make you super quiet, and then I have the power?
Fine, be that way. You always have the power.
I've always had it.
You got it, man.
Oh, that doesn't work over here on this, though. Okay, well, it works on this thing. I can turn you down and back up as long as I open this other part of the program. So that's convenient. Everyone likes that. Maybe that was that update I needed to update, but I didn't update it.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh. Well, it's probably the AI bots are invading my computer. The
Sure.
AI bots are probably like fucking leeching into my computer so they can get my sensitive information, you know.
You said
Who wouldn't want
poked
to get
in sensitive information.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to get my sensitive information? Oh, we forgot to turn on the dual stream. Well, we're not going to get all the dual stream people today. Dang.
Full stream.
We forgot.
Everyone.
We forgot to do the dual stream so that the people scrolling through reels. That's the thing. That's the advantage is that you pop up into people that are scrolling reels nonstop.
I was scrolling reels when I got this notification, as a matter of fact.
Well, you have notifications turned on.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Some cool people have their notifications turned on, but some don't.
No accounting for taste.
Can you guys even hear that sound? No,
Yes,
you can.
it's clicky clicky.
No, it's like a, it's like a metal on metal. Some random drill bits on my desk for some reason. I don't know why those are there. I wonder why. I don't know why. I wonder why. Somebody broke in and left drill bits on my desk. So criminals broke in and made a mess.
Criminals broke in and left things I use regularly. Right, well, find them.
Yeah.
Excellent. Those are the kind of criminals you like.
Actually, on the local news, the very, very, very local news blotter, I got some updates today.
Ooh, do tell.
Yeah, there was somebody ran over. Let's see. Somebody ran over a street sign. They just tacoed the damn thing. It looks like they just full on ran it over. The crosswalk
this
sign,
stupid.
and it's the crosswalk sign too. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Where it's like,
Yeah.
you know how there's like, this is a full-on crosswalk sign, so watch out for people crosswalking, and somebody just fucking annihilated this thing. They annihilated that sign, the one that's alerting you that there's like people, don't run the people over. They ran over that sign, the
All right.
bright yellow with the arrows on it and shit. They ran over that thing. So somebody was like, "Oh my god, can you fix this as soon as possible?" Which was funny, and it led me down a little local rabbit hole for about 5 minutes, because I also got another report of local graffiti. There's some gang graffiti was written on something. Now the funny thing about this reporting system is that you can upload a picture. So we have a picture of the pedestrian sign that was like annihilated, and it also asks you to add a picture, right? So that the crew's showing up, like they have a picture to look at. You know what I mean? They're like,
You
"Oh,
know
look,
what they're looking for?
we've got a picture. Let's check out the picture. We'll look for the thing once we get to the address, right? Because no one's going to perfectly post the address, right?" And it says a SS gang tagging on a white fence, right? Which I'm like, ooh, an SS gang tag, right? Like, okay. This is something that I have experience. Well, it's like this is something I have experience in personally attacking these people. Hold the fuck on. This computer is awakened. We didn't even touch it, and it just turned on. Stop. Go back to sleep.
Like it rises from the deep.
It does. It turns on at times. It likes to do that.
You should name it.
Well, I'm just saying that I have personal experience with punching Nazis. So if there's an SS gang tag in the area, I wanted to see it.
You want to go punch?
Mainly because I want to see it before I have to hike my happy ass over there to look at it in person, because it's like it easily could be something else, because boomers are easily confused. Rapidly confused at all times. So I was like, all right, well, I want to look at the picture, but there isn't a picture, but there's like 20 comments. There's lots of comments of people going back and forth about how they found the wrong location. Thank you for reporting. No, you guys didn't do anything about it. No, I got the wrong address. It's pretty funny. That's what, like, it even solidified the boomers are confused at whether it's a gang graffiti or whatever, right? Like they can't even communicate like where it is. You know what I mean? So it was making me laugh, and then I'm like, okay, well maybe I'll
Go inspect the hood.
Yeah, I'm gonna go inspect the hood. I'm gonna go check it out. My registered agent has received a document on your behalf. This just popped up. What the fuck? What is this?
That it's to do with taxes.
Yeah, it absolutely has something to do with taxes. What the fuck? This again? Why did they do this again? I don't know. I'm going to forward it. How do you forward? Where's the forward button? It's somewhere on here. Oh, it's over here now. No, reply. More. Forwarder. We shall send it to the wife. What the fuck? Oh, there it is. I don't know why they like change around the email shit. So it's like now the forward is on the bottom. It's like why do I need to look at the old email on the top when I'm forwarding it? No, scroll down to the bottom because that's where the forwarding is now.
Right. Why make an email chain understandable?
Oh, the county tax. The county tax has been paid. Oh, my county taxes went down. Like $48.
That's good.
Is it? Not really. I mean, $48. Wow. You know what I mean? Wow. I mean, you break that down, it's $4 a month, guys. I mean, come on. Imagine the savings. And the Jiffy Lube is open. Oh, and the PTA needs me to do something. Okay.
This is just going downhill at a high rate of speed.
Yeah, it's all going downhill.
Soon, I'm not going to have any time left if I keep reading my email. Maybe I'll stop for a moment.
Somebody from Mexico loves my content about aquatic plants. I currently have a website, a blog with information on various things interested in related hobby. I'd love a fact sheet about one of your plants on my site. What? What? What does that mean? One of my plants? What do you mean, one of my plants?
Did you create a plant?
I have yet to identify a plant. I have not discovered and identified a plant yet. I mean, that's something I would desperately want to do in my life, but I haven't had the ability to do that. You kind of need like a sponsor. You need like a company sponsor to do that. You know, they need to like pay the way for you to tromp around in the woods and find shit. At least that's what I learned from interviewing the Planta Hunter himself. Which, I mean, he realistically has the job that I want, you know, realistically.
I've always kind of gotten the idea that there are several jobs you want, all rolled into one. Like the movie making and the plant hunting and the wandering the world and the climbing shit.
Well, those are all combined, you know.
Okay.
Like this hat. It's the only hat I have in the background. It's the only hat I have in the background. It's right here.
What?
It's up there in the background.
All right, I believe you. On my screen, you haven't even left your computer. There you go.
Let me see if I can find his. Let's see if I can't find his website. Stefan Hummel is the Der Planta. How does it go? Der Planta Hunter. He's the guy who works for Dennerle in Germany, and he's the guy who runs their nursery, and he's the guy that finds new plants and stuff. This is what he looks like. If you guys are interested,
That'd be fun.
This is him. I got to meet him in Germany in his plant warehouse. I interviewed him, and it's somewhere on my YouTube channel. I believe it should be on my YouTube channel somewhere. That's Stefan Hummel. He's traveled all around the world. He's identified a whole bunch of plants. I think at the time he had identified 48 plants that you guys would all recognize in the hobby. In the hobby, dude. And he was a very nice guy. And he's actually, maybe I don't have the interview up on my channel.
Oh, no.
Actually, I interviewed him for like 2 hours, and I lost most of the audio because his mic that I had on him, the battery just died. The battery just died.
That sucks.
It's hard to navigate shit like that happening, right? When you don't even notice that it happened.
Right.
Well, the other guy with me wasn't really interested in it, so it's kind of funny.
That's disheartening.
The other guy who owns a plant company, supposedly.
Uh-huh.
he wasn't really interested in the idea of interviewing the guy who would know all about them.
You can't really white label plants, apparently. Who knew?
Oh yeah, you can't white label plants. You can't get a Chinese company to just write your company
Yeah.
name on a package, right? Well,
Rude.
either way, we got it all figured out. I'm glad I got my router turned on. Or glad I turned on my router.
Yeah.
I'm glad I turned my router on. There we go. I know how to read. I know how to read good and do stuff good.
Oh,
But this last weekend, very busy weekend, I had to slightly change my plans. Last week, I had, if you guys remember Robert from Aquarium Co-op, he is back in the Pacific Northwest. Had him come help out on a job on Thursday, and then I realized that the weather window was going to be good on Friday for pouring concrete. Finally, I was going to have a weather window to pour concrete on Friday, and I actually could get the concrete delivered. And Home Depot now rents the mud mixer. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what this thing is. See if I can't find a little image of it. Yeah, it's pretty easy to find. It's called the Mud Mixer Evolution. So this thing, and I'll show you what it looks like here. Oh, it's got little videos down here at the bottom too. So, oh god, we got pop-ups. So this is the machine. Here's the people using it down here in the corner. It's got a hopper on the top here, and you fill it with dry concrete at the top. Just bags of concrete. You hook it up to water, you hook it up to power, and it mixes the concrete, and it just pours out the end of it.
cool.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything yourself. It just does it all.
Well, you have to put the bags of concrete in it.
Well, I mean, measuring and keeping it. Does it have some way to adjust to the thickness and such?
Yeah, the slump. Yeah, you can adjust the slump and everything. Either way, I filmed some of us pouring with this thing and made a little. I don't know if I'll make a video at some point, but we have some video that we could make a video out of it. I have to say that this thing was well worth renting it. Now the big issue is that like I definitely want one of these for my company, 100%. I 100% want one of these for my company. As you can see, this is the lowest priced one. So $3,325 and this is the lowest price model that they have. They have different models. So like they have the mud mixer, they have the Evolution, and then they have the Pro. Let me see if I can find the Pro. Let me turn this off because it makes everything go fucking crazy. Go back. Oh. Can we go back? Oh yeah. Okay. So here's the Pro version. Looks like this. This thing holds like 4 bags in the top. The other one holds like 2 bags, and you can get one with like an extension on the top of it for the standard one, but this is like the Pro model one. I would probably want this for my company, but as you can see, it's $5,300. So you really need like a bunch of jobs to pay this thing off, right? Then the question is, am I going to have this many jobs this year to even pay this thing off, right? And you're kind of like, I don't know if I'm doing a ton of concrete work this year for my business. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of cost prohibitive to just dump add tax in or whatever, $5,500, $6,000 into one piece of equipment that really only does one thing, right? Like that's all it does. So, and the reality that, I'll have to have a little trailer for it too. So then I got to take care of a trailer, kind of a specific trailer. So didn't really, I haven't really wanted to spend the money. Well, Home Depot got one to rent, and so I saw it the other day when I was there picking up drywall, and
Nice.
I was like, "Hey, what's going on over here?" Because I had asked about it earlier in the year, or maybe like 6 months ago. So like
Mhm.
probably October or November, because they had ones out there for sale, but I just didn't. I'm not going to spend $4,000 on a fucking thing, just on a whim, right? I definitely wanted to try it out first before I even spent any money on it. So it's definitely good to have.
Some hands-on.
Yeah, I mean, to have one for rent so that people could rent it and see if they actually want to buy it or not. But they didn't have one for rent. I kept asking, like, hey, when are you going to get one for rent? And then the other day I saw it there and I was like, wait a minute, do you have one for rent now? And like the Home Depot I normally go to, their rental place is fairly new. So they recently brought in a bunch of new employees to their rental place because I think the initial people that were running the brand new rental place weren't exactly ready to run a rental department. I guess a nice way to put it. So they brought in some new people, and there was somebody there, and I was like, "Look, what's going on here? How do you have one of these now?" And he's like, "Oh, it's like we just got it, so it's only been rented once." And he's like, "It's not even in the system because basically, like, they're testing out whether it will get rented or not." So I was like, holy shit, okay, well, I'm going to rent that thing on Friday if I can get concrete delivered. So, of course, I checked to see if I could get bags delivered, and they're like, yep, we can get bags delivered first thing in the morning on Friday. So it's like, okay, well, we got the weather, we got the tool, we got the concrete. That's the stuff we need. Because I had already had the areas cleared and forms. I already made the forms a long time ago. So it was just a matter of getting the concrete in there. And, the funny part is that like I had a weather window, but that weather window surely changed by the end of the day on Friday because it had started raining by the end of the day. So we had to tarp everything off. But we had it all poured, and I ordered way too many bags of concrete. I don't know how I managed to do that. I ordered probably twice as many bags of concrete than I really needed. And so I was like, oh shit, well, I guess we got to do the other concrete project, because I don't want to hold on to bags of concrete because they get wet and then they just turn into a brick, unusable brick. So made a bunch of pavers and the pad for the fanciest chicken coop in the world, the most luxurious chicken coop in the world. The pad is ready.
Awesome.
So I worked until about, I don't know, 8 or 9 o'clock on Friday. Came in and spaced out like I normally do in the evening because the girls go to bed at 9 o'clock, like 80-year-olds. And woke up Saturday morning and got ready to drive to Lake Chelan, Washington. So we did. We got up early on Saturday. We drove to Lake Chelan, Washington, and got there. Of course, had to go to the swimming pool with Olivia, go to the hot tub. We found this little... all right. So the first thing I want to talk about with Lake Chelan is that when I was a kid, we used to go there all the time because my family had property in an area called Intiat on the Columbia River, which is, I think, our cabin, which was actually just a trailer, was maybe 13 miles, I think, down the river, something like that, maybe 10 miles down the river from Lake Chelan. So you had to get in a car, drive up the road, go up to Chelan, but it was the closest, air quote, city. The closest town to the property was Lake Chelan, or Chelan, whatever you want to call it. So through the 80s and through the 90s, like I knew Chelan pretty well. As we would go up there all the time as a family, and as a kid, and would run around that town all the time. We'd go to slide waters, we'd go to the beach, we'd go fishing, all sorts of stuff. And it's a very small town, and it always has been a very small town. And I have to say, over the last, because it's 2026 now, and I would say that the last time that I was like really, really, really hanging out in Chelan was probably 2003-ish, something like that. Would probably be the last time that I spent like, I was out there for a couple weeks kind of deal, right?
Okay.
I would say so over the last 20, 25 years, it has become more and more and more the rich folks' playground. The properties around there are $4 million, and I don't know about you guys, but I sweat about I have cold sweats at night about my house, and my house is an eighth of that, right? So yeah, there is no like, oh, am I just going to get a cabin out there? Am I going to do what my parents did and, develop a property, which my parents were not rich. My parents were not rich at all. They bought an acre of undeveloped land for $1,500 in 1983, I think. 1983, maybe 1982, maybe something like that. And then around 1987, they had enough money to hire equipment. And so me and my dad, I was a little guy, I would be out there with my dad all the time, clearing land, building a crazy driveway, ripping sagebrush out of the ground, and then cursing the fact that its roots are so goddamn tough to get out of the ground. But yeah, me and my dad did that for years. Like every summer we were out there for doing all sorts of stuff. We had a pretty cheap ski boat when I was a little guy, and the first trailer that we put on that property was like, Bob's hand-me-down from the 70s, you know what I mean? Like I think it was probably like a 22-footer, I would think, having known about trailers. I think it was probably like a 22, maybe a 23-footer, something like that. It was a pretty small economical trailer. And we would go out there during the summer. My dad worked for the school district growing up. He was the janitor. And, the janitors worked over the summer, but they didn't, they weren't doing the, 5, 6, 7 days a week like they normally do when school's in. They would, they'd have projects that they worked on. My dad resurfaced all of the basketball courts, like the indoor hardwood gym floors. My dad was in charge of doing all those. So there was like parts of the summer where my dad would be like, well, I'm going to go back for a week, basically, and do this school's gym, right? Strip the whole floor, resand the whole thing, put all the stripes down, do all the finished top coats, all that stuff.
Right.
And a lot of times I would just get left over there when I was like 9, 10, 11, and the neighbors would basically look after me. They were a Mexican family, and they would basically look after me, make sure I wasn't murdered or dead or anything. And we always had like family friends in the area. People were always like coming and going, and it's like, oh, Nick's parents are here, so sleep over at Nick's cabin for a couple of days, right? And so there was a lot of that growing up. So a lot of my summers were pretty darn full of being in Eastern Washington. And, like I said, I had like a lot of experience with Chelan because our family would go up there all the time. We'd go up there to even just, if you needed to do grocery shopping, you wouldn't drive all the way to Wenatchee because Wenatchee was like 30 minutes away, right? Wenatchee was cheaper. Wenatchee had more stuff, but still you were driving, you're committing yourself to at least an hour to go pick up some milk. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, I need, somebody needs, everybody needs a gallon of milk, right? Because like everyone had cereal, right? So all the kids would have had food, but we wouldn't have any milk for the fucking cereal. So it's like, well, somebody will run up to Chelan and buy like 10 gallons of milk and then just come back down and everybody will just distribute the milk, because it's not like you would leave milk in there and be gone for a month, because you do that once, you're not doing it again. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Yeah. You got the funk. You got that like illegal cheese, right? The illegal cheese has been made. And so, yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, like Chelan was affordable. It was, guys with way too many wrinkles and way too many years of being suntanned, year after year after year working outside, right? Fucked up pickup trucks and, not jacked up pickup trucks, but like fucked up trucks, it's like I got my custom rake rack on the back of this old pickup,
a little bit of tobacco under the lip. Yeah.
Spitting, a lot of spitting going on. And there definitely were like more wealthier people around, because, the beach, right? And so like it was kind of a mix, but it was still like a sparse Washington town. And there's a place down on the water. So if you look at some of the I guess maybe I guess we have time today, like who cares? It's our stream. We do what we want and no one's here. So we can do whatever we want. Let's look up Campbell's in Chelan.
Okay.
The years, because I think that they even have a historical website. Yeah, I think they do. Here you go. So they have their own website to give you an idea. And let's go look at the website real quick. It gives you an idea of like what this area was like. So this is the story of Campbell's Resort, the history, people, and the vision behind the name. So this is the original house right here. This is the picture of the original house. You can see they put it right here in the sand dunes. There ain't fucking nothing around but sand dunes and sagebrush. And you can see the lake down here in the left. Well, not on your picture, but I can see it over here. It's close to the water, but not directly on the water. The guy that built it is this guy, C.C. Campbell. Here he is in 1898, who was formerly a judge and lawman from Sioux City, Iowa, journeyed west seeking a new beginning. He hiked 3 days from the end of Washington Central Railway in Wilbur to Lake Chelan, drawn by stories of untouched wilderness. When he arrived, he found a pristine lake surrounded by rugged beauty, and he knew he had found his home. Later that year, he purchased a stretch of lakefront property for $400. Land, the seller claimed, was nothing but a sand dune sold to a sucker. But Cece saw something else, potential. By 1901, Cece and his wife, Caroline, had opened a 16-room inn called Hotel Chelan, with a mission to erect a hostelry? What the fuck is that word? Hostelry? I don't know what that word is.
The T is a...
hostelry, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, a hostelry. Okay, yeah, okay, now I got it. Of the type that would be a credit to the community. From teamsters to prospectors to homesteaders and early tourists, guests were welcomed with trademark hospitality and Caroline's now legendary cooking. Oh, the legendary cooking. Legendary. She's long dead now, and I didn't get to experience her cooking. The second generation. This is Arthur Campbell the first. Arthur Campbell, the only son of Cece and Caroline, was part of Chelan High School's first graduating class in 1908. He later earned a law degree from the University of Washington in 1914, where he also competed in track, wrestling, and crew. After serving in World War I, Arthur returned to Chelan with his wife, Anne Montfort. Dedicated and strong, Arthur planted an apple orchard, affectionately named No-See-Um Orchard, and dug out the hotel basement by hand with a shovel and wheelbarrow to expand the restaurant. He led the resort through the roaring 20s and into the challenges of the Great Depression. The family weathered tough times thanks in part to the economic revival brought by nearby mining operations in the late 1930s. Hey, you can see here 1917. This is what it's looking like. The third generation, Arthur II and Dan Campbell. In the 1940s, Arthur II and Dan Campbell returned to Lake Chelan following military service in the Navy and the Army. They joined the family business during the early days of Lake Chelan's tourism boom and began expanding the property with rustic fishing cabins and long-term plans for the resort's future. They also left their mark on the town itself, serving the Chelan Park Board and City Council, helping establish the Lake Chelan Municipal Golf Course and Riverwalk Park, both of which remain community landmarks today. So here you can see it's sort of evolving. The son had dug out the basement and built this area, but the house essentially, it's like a hotel, but it's a house, right? Like it's just a big house. And then there's a big covered, it's this big covered porch area here where all the dining tables and stuff are. A lot of the eating was just outside back then. And by the way, a lot of the eating was just outside back when I was a kid. Okay, the fourth generation, Arthur III and Clint Campbell. By the 1950s, the resort had expanded into motel-style lodging, with Lodge 1 opening in 1955, followed by Lodge 4 in 1963 and Lodge 2 in 1972. The property featured fishing cabins, a swim and dance pavilion, manicured grounds, and a full-service dining room. In 1976, the family celebrated 75 years in business. Members of the fourth generation, Arthur III, Clint, Nancy, Sally, and Bonnie, had grown up in the resort environment, gaining firsthand experience in hospitality. Arthur III and Clint returned in the late 70s to help lead the operation. The 1980s brought further expansion. In 1983, the family purchased Cannon's Resort, formerly Job's Resort, which became Lodge 5. In 1987, the resort added conference facilities and officially became Campbell's Resort and Conference Center. This is what I remember from the 80s, this part right here, when I was a kid. Then here we go into the 90s, and I remember this expansion too. The 1990s marked a time of transformation. Lodge 3 was constructed in 1990. Lodge 1 was fully redeveloped in 1997. And the Stehekin Ballroom was added to accommodate growing demand for meeting and event space. In 2001, Campbell's proudly celebrated 100 years of continuous operation. Eric and Tom Campbell, sons of Arthur III, returned to Chelan in 2010 and 2012, respectively. They now serve as the sole owner-operators of Campbell's Resort, leading day-to-day operations and overseeing new era of timeless hospitality. Genuine guest experiences and ongoing reinvestment in the property. Most recently, the resort partnered with Pacific Northwest-based Jensen Design to refresh all the guest rooms with new paint, carpet, and furniture. Completed in 2024, the redesign embraces a clean, modern, and comfort aesthetic, uncluttered, and intentionally understated to help guests focus on what matters most, the sweeping views of glacially fed Lake Chelan just beyond their window. So, like, this whole thing with the Campbells here, like, it was weird staying here because it's this now, right? It's this version, right. The 2024 version, where they redesigned and they remodeled a whole bunch of stuff. But there are blasts from the past in the areas there of its own, like, existence. Right. So it's kind of cool to be there because they have some old buildings. It doesn't say here that they bought some other buildings, but they essentially are now like this big, all the way over here. So it starts over here in the corner and it goes all the way across to the other side now. But you can kind of go through the ages here with the buildings and the space and the fact that, like, it's not a cohesive place, right? It's not like, hey, we built a hotel with 6 buildings or whatever the fuck. It's right. Like, oh, well, we built this and then we renovated that and then we expanded this and then we renovated the thing and then we built this building and then we renovated this building. We built that building and then we re-renovated this one. So it is really interesting, and it's kind of funny because it's like there's a hot tub here, there's a pool over here, there's a pool over here, and a hot tub over here, and it's all confusing as fuck. Like there's no cohesion with the pools or the hot tub. They're all different. They're all like vastly different. You know what I mean? So it was you know, it was nice. It was really nice to stay there. And it was really interesting because we were there right before essentially the season starts, right? So you can see here, like April 17th to June 30, 15% off, best available rate, excludes Memorial Day weekend. So like it's discount right now, right?
Right.
October 24th to April 16th, rates starting at 115 a night. So we basically we stayed in the off season because it's not even the 16th yet, right? So it was really interesting. There just really wasn't the amalgamation of people that are normally here. When I was a kid, these buildings were much less overstated, and I don't think this building existed right here at all. When I was a kid, I don't think this one did. And this building on the right over here was completely different. This one is completely rebuilt, rehabbed, changed, transmogrified. I don't even know what to say about this building. It is 100%. I wouldn't say it's like 100% new, but it is like new. Shit's fixed. It was renovated. Like it's already been through a couple seasons. I guess they said 2024 in their thing. So it's probably already been through the 2024 or 2025 season. So it's like, it's got that little bit of weathered, but it's all fucking brand new. You know what I mean? So, but this thing was always here on the corner. Like, and we never really stayed at it when I was a kid, but we would go to the restaurant and stuff like that when I was a kid, but we'd never stayed at it because, I mean, our cabin was 10 minutes away. You just drive over to our cabin, you know? No reason to spend the money, right? But it was really nice to stay there, and it was really interesting, an interesting experience to be in such an off-season time in Chelan. You know, Olivia and I walked around the whole city, basically. We did the whole river walk, went across all the bridges, walked all around. It's really interesting to see the area now. And like I said, the big downside is that like it really feels like home to me, you know, like it feels like visiting an old home, you know, the place you used to live. And but it is so much like the rich people's, you know, playground now that like, you know, there's also that annoyance that like, well, this used to be for me, right? So I'm actually having some of those boomer moments where you're like, but it's changed so much, you know. But the reality is that like the infrastructure needs to get fixed. There needs to be an economy, right? Like everybody in Chelan has been essentially clamoring over the years to get better and more development because you can't just count on one or two, you know, agricultural companies, essentially, which is what is there. So it's like you have the apple farming, you have the fish farming, you have like a couple of packing plants that are related to apples and fish, right? And what are you going to do? Like tax the apple company into oblivion because you need plumbing for the city fixed, you know?
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of economy that can actually, like, you know, maintain your city, especially if it's the little city that you love in such a beautiful area. It really is a beautiful area. Like, Chelan is one of the few places that I ever thought, wow, I might open a restaurant there, right? Like, I would consider the right option opening a restaurant there. And one of the big upsides to that is that you are working like 8 months out of the year, maybe 7 months out of the year, because you're catering to the tourist season, right? Like, and if you don't have tourists, sure, you could do some events in the wintertime. Like, you know, you could probably do a big Christmas bash. You could do like a, you know, we're open for Halloween or, whatever, or Hanukkah, I guess. I don't know. You guys religious weirdos. I don't know. So like there's opportunity there, right? Like I think that honestly there's an opportunity there. And it's probably the only place I ever thought like, I probably would open a restaurant there. And one of the reasons for that would be the fact that it is a tourist business. Right? It's like there is an understanding that you aren't going to work January, February because there's just no customers. Whereas if you're in a regular city, you have to figure out how to navigate
24 or 65.
Yeah, I mean operating the entirety of the year because your average neighborhood customers in whatever city aren't going to even understand the fact that you go like, yeah, well, we're just not busy enough to be open, so we're going to close for a couple of months. Like
Right.
The average people are like, well, my kid still has to go to school, or whatever.
Right.
So it is one of the few places that I've thought like, yeah, I mean, it would be reasonable to open a restaurant there because there is no expectation that you're open year round. Like we wanted to go to do the go-karts because we knew it wasn't that busy, right? So it was like we were going to go do the go-karts. Well, they're not open for the season yet. They're just, yeah, we're not open yet. Sorry. There's no one here. You can't, there's no go-karts here. There's not even a go-kart. You could technically run around the go-kart track, I guess, if you wanted to trespass.
You can go. You just can't go with a cart.
Yeah, you're not taking one of our go-karts because they're not even here. That's the thing is the go-karts weren't even on site.
Right. They store them somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know where they store them, or maybe they buy new ones. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what they do, but they weren't there. And there was nowhere to store them. There wasn't like a big garage,
Garage or warehouse, right?
And the bumper boats are they're gone.
Aw.
Yeah, it's just gone. There's just a big concrete pad there and construction equipment parked on the concrete pad. It's like, well,
That's a bummer.
I mean, I could ride an excavator if it has the keys in it.
Woohoo!
I don't know. Well, I guess
Probably
it's just the two of us. I mean, maybe we should just end the stream and go do something else. It's just the two of us here, so we might as well.
Just the two of us.
But either way, I mean, the weather was pretty reasonable. I mean, it was like a little chilly at times. If the sun went behind a cloud, like, oh my God, actually, it's kind of cold out here. The one of the hot tubs was too hot. It was turned way too hot. One of the hot tubs was salt. One of them was chlorine. The salt one was like warm. The chlorine one was hot. But I will admit, it was actually nice. It's so hot once you get in it, it actually like elevates your your blood starts pumping. You know what I mean? Like your heart starts beating because it's like, holy shit, it's fucking hot. Which is actually good for you, believe it or not. It's good for your body to put it under that stress for, half an hour, 45 minutes. So I stayed in there for an hour and a half, of course. And the swimming pools were fucking ice cold still. They were heated, but it just was,
No.
It's like, oh God. And one of the funniest lines I've heard in a long time, Olivia, when she was going in there, she was, getting into the pool and lowering bit by bit by bit. And she screamed, "It's freezing my vagina." And I thought that was one of the funniest things. It's one of the funniest things I've heard in a very long time, especially out of a 7-year-old. It's like, oh my God. Pretty funny.
That's funny.
But they were heated and they were warmed up. It just, once you got in, you could swim around and it was fine. But it was the getting in that was the hard part. Cold water plunge style. But, they were heated. They just haven't been running for a month,
Right.
to have fully heated the ground and everything, So, but it was nice to swim. We did tons of swimming. Olivia will just be in the pool all
Right.
the time. If there's a pool, she'll be in it. She wants to be in it.
Big water child.
Oh yeah, she will bring it up too, which is strange because she won't bring up that she's hungry. She won't tell you that she's hungry. She won't tell you that she's got to go to the bathroom. She won't tell you any of that stuff, but she will definitely tell you that she wants to go to the swimming pool. So it's kind of interesting that she'll actually vocalize wanting desperately to go to the pool, unprompted too. It's like she just knows that she's in range of a pool.
She can sense water.
Yeah, she can sense the pool. She can sense the presence of the pool. So, Olivia and I had a great time. Vicky did her work. That's why we were there. Vicky had a convention that she had to do. She was presenting, hosting, whatever you want to call it. So she was doing that. Olivia and I were goofing around, having a good time. Vicky got her work done. And then she's leaving again tomorrow. I don't know. She's going somewhere tomorrow. And then coming back on Thursday. So fun. And the dog got fixed. One of the dogs got fixed. Sorry, not the dog. We have 4. One of the dogs got fixed today. So I'll have to take care of a sick dog, try to work, get the kid to school, pick the kid up from daycare on time, blah, blah, blah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. That's a fun birthday, right? Sounds like fun. Trying to work and do all the other stuff. So we'll see how it goes. The project is ongoing. The deck people have been a giant pain in the ass, but I finally got Robert's going to be coming out a couple hours a day to be a helper on the job. He doesn't have a job here yet, so I'm paying him to come work part-time.
Nice.
And that's nice. It's nice to have him here. Nice to have him back. And it is easier to talk to somebody that's like in the area. It's hard when half of your friends live on the other side of the planet, Like one of my good buddies lives in fucking Arizona now. One of my best friends, I was in their wedding. He's in fucking Utah now. Robert was in Texas. One of my buddies up in Alaska. And the Skoglunds. I got to see the Skoglunds when we were in Washington, D.C. because they live on the other side of the fucking planet.
Right.
Just everybody living far away from each other now. So it was. It's nice to have somebody back in town that you're like, hey, what up? So that's good.
Yeah, I like
Project continues on, but I'm looking at the deadline is 2 weeks from now. I want to be done 2 weeks from now, and I'm going. I don't know if we're gonna make that deadline because we still have a tenant in the way.
No.
I have all these decks that need to get replaced on this property, and boy, howdy, the deck companies have been irresponsible at best,
Interesting.
They'd be like, hey, I'll be there on Wednesday to look at the job and give you a bid, and then don't hear from them until Sunday when they call and go like, hey, when can I come out there? And you'll be like, last Wednesday when you said you were going to be there, you motherfucker. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Yeah. So I don't know. I think honestly, time of year for the deck guys, they're getting a call from every single person under the sun.
Right.
Then one of the companies nowadays in 2024, some companies will put pressure on you because they're like, well, you're the contractor, right? And it's like, yeah, I'm needing you to hire a subcontractor to do a job, and they're like, okay, well, we need to talk to the homeowner. And it's like, I'm the contractor, so talk to me, and like, well, we need to have a meeting with the homeowner to make sure that they want what they want. Nope, not going to do that. Okay, well, we need to talk to the homeowner to make sure it's approved. Okay, and this lady I talked to, I was like, look, lady, the homeowner pays me so that they don't have to talk to you. Do you understand that? Do you understand what is happening here? Like, they don't want to talk to you. That's why they paid me. They paid me to talk to you, And there was this one company I talked to that said, "Well, we can't take the job if we can't talk to the owner." And I'm like, "Okay, then go work somewhere else. Bye." And then they called back like a half an hour later, and they're like, "Well, I talked to the project manager, and the project manager said it was fine." And it's like, "Well, it's kind of too late now, because you told me
Right.
you couldn't like accept payment and do a job. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So it's weird, but it's pretty clear that like part of that motivation is that like we need to get the information. Like almost every company now, they're like, "Hey, can you fill out this form that has like your phone number and like 2 email addresses and your home address and your full name and all this shit."
Right.
And you're like, "How much to put in the sewer line?" They're like, "Well, we need like 2 email addresses from you." You're like,
No,
"How?"
I don't need you to sell my name to whatever
Oh
mailing
yeah, it's
list you're
like,
trying to get money
it's
from.
like, are you tech support for the email company, or are you the doo-doo pipe replacement guys? Like, what? No, you don't get my email. Like, fuck you, plumber. Get out of here. Super funny.
That's a new fad. That would be a great business name.
Doo-doo
Call
pipe,
Poo Poo Piping.
doo-doo pipe boys, the doo-doo pipe boys. Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess doing this stream today was like a total fail, and I'm just here talking to Witchy Cat, and I don't know who else is here. Looks like the Fish
Sarah?
Fam bot is here, and Rick Ab Harris is here. So I would like to be not live streaming to just you and I. So
All right.
we're gonna end the stream. Happy birthday to me, and see you guys later, I guess. Bye-bye.
Bye.